Welcome to IPMNation.com, the next generation of internet radio, powered by Impact Player Music.
You are receiving a remote transmission from IPMNation.com. Stay tuned for further instructions. You are receiving a remote transmission from IPMNation.com. Stay tuned for further instructions.
Leave
What a great track right there. That is Crazy About You Baby from Gina, Sicilia. She is our guest tonight here on Remote Transmission on IPMNation.com, on the IPMNation.com live channel. And Gina is on the phone with us. Hi, Gina.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, good. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you here with us. And you are from Philadelphia, is that correct?
Yes, I am from the Philadelphia area, yeah.
Okay, is that where you're calling from now?
Well, I'm actually calling from New York City.
Oh, okay, cool. What are you doing there?
Yeah. I'm renting an apartment for a little bit, and for a little while, and yeah, so I'm calling from my New York City apartment.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
How long have you been in New York?
A few weeks now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to mention, too, that track we just played is from your release, Can't Control Myself, which just came out this year. Is that correct?
Yeah, it just came out on March 1st. It's my third release. I'm very, very excited about it. I really feel that it's my best release to date.
Mm-hmm.
Really proud of it.
From poking around online, I got the impression that with this album, you've kind of maybe kind of branched out a little bit. I know that I know for one thing, you won an award for Best New Artist Debut at the Blues Music Awards in Memphis a couple of years ago, back in 2008. But I guess with the new disc, are you trying to kind of expand from, I mean, I assume you don't want to just be considered strictly a blues artist, but kind of show some of your other influence as well?
Yeah. Well, I mean, even on my first record, I've always incorporated different styles of music. I mean, I've always, I love country music and I love gospel. Even on my first record back in 2007, I had a gospel song and a country song and
Sure.
Songs that were or jazzy. I hate that word, but jazzy. And on my second record too, I had Americana stuff and country and roots music and the kind of music that you can't really label.
Sure.
Still blues based, of course, but I guess you can just consider it roots music. It's just kind of a combination of various American styles of music.
Sure.
And so on this CD, on Can't Control Myself, I'm pretty much doing the same thing. I love so many different kinds of music, and I write different kinds of music, and I guess that just shows through on this album. Yeah.
Do you find that you mentioned you want to do music that's not necessarily easy to categorize or to pigeonhole? Do you find that helps you to stand out as far as what you're doing, or is it sometimes a hindrance? Because I know that in the music industry, people are always going to there are certain people in the music industry who are always going to try to pigeonhole you or to put you into a box because, obviously people want to figure out how to market you. I mean, how do you approach that aspect of it?
Yeah, well, I mean, I wouldn't really say I'm making an effort when I'm writing songs and when I'm recording albums to disassociate myself from blues. I pretty much just write what I write.
Sure.
So, and whatever style that is, it comes from me, and it's my style.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if I'll ever be able to be pigeonholed into something because I just, I come from so many different styles of music, and so maybe one day I'll record a straight country album, maybe I'll record a straight, blues album. You never know.
Sure.
I'll record a rock album, but, but until then, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing and just writing songs that are coming from me, that are inspired by my various influences, and we'll see what happens from there.
Sure, great. And now, as far as the writing goes, is everything self-written, or do you have people that you collaborate with?
Yeah, well, I write all my songs that I've recorded myself.
Okay.
Yeah, I love songwriting almost as much as I love singing.
Really? Yeah.
and I really love singing, so I love songwriting.
Yeah.
And I write all the time, and I'm already writing some songs and brainstorming some different ideas for my fourth album.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
And this is a full length, by the way, correct? Can't Control Myself? Okay.
full-length album, yeah.
And have your other releases been full length as well, or have any of them been EPs?
Nope, they're all full-length releases.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I noticed too, I was reading about this. This is interesting that it sounds like this album is really a collaboration as far as the recording aspect with Dave Gross, who produced, engineered, and plays most or all of the instruments. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Cool.
Dave is an amazing person to work with in the studio, and he is so talented. He's unbelievably talented, and he did so much for this album.
Yeah.
And and like you said, he played almost every instrument on the album, and he engineered it and he produced it, and he did a really incredible job, and we had such a great time working together, the two of us on this album, collaborating on this, and so for me, this album is really special in that way because it was the two of us in the studio, me singing and bringing the songs, and him playing the instruments, and he would bring different ideas to the table, and it was just this really great collaboration, and for that reason, this album is really special for me.
That's cool. I imagine it must have been very comfortable recording that way because, so often in the studio, you're dealing with multiple people. You have a producer and an engineer and you have a band and all these different people you're dealing with. So to be able to have it just be you and Dave, I mean, that must have been really just very comfortable and easy, I would assume.
Yeah, and I guess another word to describe it would be a very intimate way to record an album.
Sure.
Two people,
Now, what about your other releases? Were those also done with Dave, or were those different scenarios?
Yeah, my past two releases, Dave produced both of those.
Oh, great.
And he didn't play every instrument on those two, but he was definitely a big part. He produced them, and on my second album, he engineered some of it, and
Okay.
yeah, so he's always been a big part of my music.
Yeah. No, that's great. And now, do you tour around a lot? Do you play a lot of shows?
Yeah, I do. I tour a lot. I pretty much have toured the whole country.
Okay.
A little bit in Canada. I've played some great festivals and some great listening rooms and art centers and theaters, and I've been really fortunate to be able to do that.
Yeah, it looks like you've been pretty busy. I was looking at your website, GinaSicilia.com, which is a very nice site, by the way.
Well, thank you.
And absolutely, and I'm kind of a website geek, so I'm always I'm always looking at sites and kind of critiquing them. No, but it's a very cool site, and it looks like you've been pretty busy. Have you gone to Europe at all, or has it been just North America at this point?
No, I have not performed in Europe yet. That is my next goal.
Yeah.
I really want to perform in Europe.
Yeah.
But
How many shows a year do you?
I love performing in the States too.
Yeah.
I can't complain.
Oh.
I've been very fortunate to be able to do the traveling that I've been able to do.
Absolutely. I mean, is it a pretty rigorous schedule? How many shows a year do you do, would you say?
Sometimes it is. I mean, it varies. I mean, if I'm doing a month-long tour, sometimes I'll have, six shows in a row.
Sure.
So it depends. I mean, it varies from year to year. It varies from month to month. It varies from week to week.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
When you're playing a lot of shows, I mean, do you find that do you have to do anything special to really kind of maintain your voice? A lot of I know a lot of vocalists who I've talked to who really when they're out touring and they're really playing consistently and really hitting the road, they have to, there's certain things they have to do to really kind of protect their voice. Do you have to do that, or are you okay so far?
well, there are certain things that I do. I mean, I like drinking hot water and lemon.
Sure, yeah.
But I think the most important thing in preserving your voice, when you're on tour and from night to night, is getting enough sleep. Because if you don't get enough sleep, your voice is a muscle, and when you don't rest your voice, vocal, it's going to be tired, and then when you try to sing the next night, you're going to be straining yourself and you're going to be hurting yourself.
Sure.
So I think that's probably the biggest thing for me, just getting enough sleep. And I always try to make sure that I do get enough sleep.
Yeah.
And just knowing your limits when you're on stage singing, knowing your limits, not over singing, not pushing your voice too hard to the point that it's going to blow out. Just so really, I would say just knowing your limits and getting enough sleep.
Yeah. Which isn't easy to do on the road, as you said, getting enough rest. But that's an interesting insight. I've heard a lot of vocalists, people that I've interviewed, talk about, they do the hot water and lemon and all that, but getting enough rest, that's something I don't hear mentioned often, probably because it is so difficult when you're on the road, and I'm sure you have to be pretty disciplined about it. But you have a,
Right,
you have a good, powerful voice, so it's important to you to, to really keep it up. And when you go out on the road, do you bring a full band, or do you do? I mean, what's the scenario there?
Yeah, I bring my full band. They've been touring with me for about 4 years now.
Okay.
I love all of them. And actually, Dave Gross, my producer, he's actually my guitar player in my band.
Okay.
A phenomenal guitar player.
Yeah.
And he tours with me, and I have a 4-piece band, including myself.
Do you ever do any shows without the band? Do you ever do any acoustic sets or anything like that?
Yeah, sometimes I have a show coming up on Friday night in New York City at a place called Banjo Jim's, and it's going to be me and Dave. Dave's going to be playing guitar. Maybe I'll play a little bit of guitar and
cool.
do an acoustic thing. It depends on the venue.
Yeah.
Really, if it's a small listening room that calls for acoustic music or maybe country music or music that I wouldn't normally perform with my band at a larger venue or festival that wouldn't normally work in that kind of venue, then I'll perform that kind of music in a smaller venue, more intimate place.
Sure. And it must be nice to kind of have that flexibility with the music that you do, to be able to, if you want to take it to a different setting and kind of strip it down and just do a set with just you and Dave, to be able to have the ability to do that, because not everyone can do that.
Right. And I love both. I mean, I love the stripped down version of our act, and I love the intimate setting and the acoustic thing, but I also love performing, for example, in a big theater for 300 people, and
Sure.
Drawing off of their energy and performing with my band, and that's also great. So I'll take it either way.
Sure, absolutely, absolutely. I have to ask you too, because you're steeped in the blues. Obviously, you're playing a lot of original material, and you have a lot of great original material. But do you also do some covers or some standards, or what happens during a typical set?
Yeah, well, I do a lot of original material, especially now that I've released my 3rd CD.
Yeah.
I have a lot of original material from there that I've added to my set list. But I also do a lot of covers, some blues standards.
Sure.
Well, I shouldn't say standards. I do some blues covers and covers that I've also recorded on my CDs.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like a nice, healthy, balanced mix between originals and covers, and soul, R&B, and Americana, country. Just a nice mix, I think. And the audiences seem to really enjoy it most of the time. So.
Absolutely. How long do you play? I mean, how long is a typical set? Does it vary?
A typical set, well, generally, when I'm performing in, let's say, a blues nightclub, I'll do 2 sets.
Okay.
2 hour and 15-minute long sets.
Okay, so you're up there for a long time sometimes.
Yeah, I do a lot of singing, and sometimes I'll do 2 90-minute sets. Sometimes I'll have to sing for 4 hours.
Is that tough on your voice?
With a few breaks, it is.
Yeah.
But again, if sometimes by the end of the night, your voice starts to tire out. But again, you have to know your limits, and you just have to really be cautious that you're not hurting yourself.
Sure.
Yeah, not push too hard.
Absolutely. And now, what do you do? What are you doing now? I mean, at this stage of things, are you? I know that you're in New York. Are you also doing some tour dates, or are you just kind of staying put for now? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm going to be touring again starting in May.
Okay.
I'm going to be doing um, I'm going to be doing some festivals. I'm going to be doing a festival in Greensboro, North Carolina. It's called the Carolina Blues Festival.
Okay.
And I'm going to be playing with Bob Margolin's band. Bob Margolin is a legendary guitar player. He is a former member of the Muddy Waters band, and he's a good friend of mine.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that, and I'm going to be doing some things regionally in May, and then in June I'm going to hit the road again. I'm going to be going up to Canada for a festival, and I'm going to be doing a tour in Florida. And so, I'm excited to hit the road again.
Outstanding. And now, as far as the album, where can we find that? Obviously, it's available online, correct?
It is available everywhere online.
Everywhere online, all the usual CD Baby and all that.
CD, yeah, Amazon.com, iTunes, my website, GinaSicilia.com, BarnesandNoble.com. Just Google my name and, BestBuy.com.
Okay.
The list goes on. So if you Google my name, various websites will come up where you can purchase the CD.
You've got it covered, yeah. And for the spelling impaired, we should let everybody know it's Sicilia.
Yeah, Sicilia. I like to tell people, especially my audiences, when I'm trying to explain how to spell my last name, just think Sicilian pizza and at the end. So Sicilia.
Yeah.
Sicilia. I am Sicilia. Gina Sicilia.
You ever see your name misspelled on a poster or anything for a show?
Sometimes, but I get a lot of different variations and pronunciations, like silica or licka, or I've gotten it all.
Yeah. I was pretty sure how to say your name, but of course, before we went on the air, I felt compelled to just check with you just to make sure. I would have felt bad if I'd said it wrong. But so you can get the CD. The CD's easy to get online, obviously, and definitely want to tell everyone to check out GinaSicilia.com for those upcoming tour dates. And you said, so that's coming right up, right? May, you said?
Yeah, May. And also, if you go on my website, GinaSicilia.com, just sign up for my mailing list.
Okay.
And I don't send emails out too often. I try not to be too obnoxious about that. But when I'm going on tour, when I'm going to be having a festival coming up or something like that, I'll send out an email and just notifying everyone where I'm going to be, and it's a friendly email. So if you go on my website, sign up for my mailing list, and you'll be notified where I'll be and if I'm coming to a town near you.
By the way, I have to ask you too, because you're very busy. You've got a lot going on. But do you have a record label that you're with, or do you have a manager, or is it kind of DIY still, or how does that work?
Yes, actually, I have both. I do have a label that I've been with since 2007.
Oh, okay.
The VizTone Label Group.
Okay.
Their name. And I also have a manager who I recently signed with and I'm very, very excited about that.
Good.
Her name is Cindy De Silva.
Oh, okay. Yep, that's right. I looked at her website, and I saw some of the artists that are on there. So, and that's also another nice website, I would say.
Yes, it is. She's a nice website. I like the pink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, I was just curious because you do have a lot going on, and you're very busy. So that's great. It's really important, as you know, obviously, to have a good team behind you. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a good feeling.
Absolutely. Well, Gina, listen, we'll let you go. Thanks very much for coming on with us tonight. I'm gonna right after you hang up, I'm gonna play this next track, "Addicted," which I really like a lot. I think this is my favorite of the ones that you sent us. Very, very cool tune. But I want to thank you very much for joining us here tonight, and we'll have to have you back on again soon after you hit the road. Maybe you can call in from one of your tour stops, and we can kind of catch up on how that's going.
Absolutely, and thanks so much for having me on, and I would love to call back in sometime again.
Absolutely, Gina. Okay, thanks very much. Have a good night.
Okay, Okay, you too. Thanks
Okay.
again.
Bye-bye. All right, so that was Gina Cecilia calling us from New York City. And she is originally from the Philadelphia area, but we're going to play another track. This is from her current album that just came out earlier this month. This is called Addicted from Gina Cecilia. Don't go away, because after this song, I'm going to come back and tell you a little bit about what's going on this weekend on IPMNation.com, because we got a couple of big things coming up very, very soon. And by very soon, I mean this weekend. I'm sorry. It's late. You know the drill. People who listen to this show every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 know the drill. That by 11 o'clock, I've been up all day and I'm a little silly. So I say stupid things and I say things wrong. And then I laugh at myself and try to make light of it to try to save the segment that I've already ruined. Anyway, so this is Addicted from Gina Cecilia here on Remote Transmission on IPMNation.com.
I take a puff of my camel pop and drink up all I got. Pull a dollar out my pocket, put a quarter in the slot. Then I pull on the lever, find out what I'm gonna win. The only place I'm going is the only place I've been, 'cause I'm addicted. I think I'll have another round. I love the way it tastes, I love the way it feels as it's going down. Now they say they want to send me to some place out in the west, where nobody's gonna judge me, where the doctors are the best. But I think I'll sit right here and feel nothing tonight, 'cause the feeling of not feeling is really feeling really nice. 'Cause I'm addicted, I think I'll have another round. I love the way it tastes, I love the way it feels as it's going down. I don't care anymore if what you think I'm doing is done. I don't care anymore. I can die when I'm done. Now I always find a way, so won't you back off, please? You're
great track. That is Addicted from Gina Sicilia from her album Can't Control Myself, which just came out very, very recently. So we had a great conversation earlier. If you're tuning in late or you missed it, or if you were here for the whole thing and you just want to be able to relive the glory again and again and again, tonight's episode of Remote Transmission will be up and available for streaming and or download on demand on the Remote Transmission page here on IPMNation.com. So you'll be able to keep it forever and ever. We should have that up by midnight Eastern Time. Maybe a few minutes sooner, maybe a few minutes later, but around midnight it will be up and available. So we are going to play one more Gina Cecilia track in a minute, but I want to talk at you and just tell you a little bit about what's coming up the rest of the weekend this weekend, because we have a really big weekend coming up here on IPMNation.com. First, I'll briefly mention the Thursday night edition of Remote Transmission will include an interview with Rachel Ann, who is a great singer-songwriter who we were supposed to have on Tuesday night, but we had a little bit of an issue Tuesday of last week, or was it Thursday of last week? I don't know. It all blends together. I think it was Tuesday. It was Tuesday. So we're gonna give that another try. Thursday night, Rachel Ann will be with us here on the Thursday night edition of Remote Transmission here on the IPMNation.com live channel. But I want to tell you about Friday night. Friday night here at our home base at the Essence Studio at 832 Elm Street in downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. We have the Like-Minded Music and Art Expo. And it's going to be really cool. This is going to be the second one we've done. United Front Company has put this together for us. Orion the Rebel, our very good friend and a very important part of IPMNation.com, has put this together. It's going to be a mixture of art and music. General Money is going to be performing here live. I'm sure Orion will be performing, and some of the artists that he works with. Admission is free. It's going to kick off at 8 p.m. and it's going to go until whenever we decide to shut it down. So that's this coming Friday night, the 29th. If you're in or around the Manchester, New Hampshire area, or even if you're far away and you feel like taking a trip, this is going to be a really cool thing. So definitely come check it out. And if you can't be here with us, that's okay. You can listen to it online. We will be streaming it online on IPMNation.com. It will be a special edition of the Innuendo Show, which is, of course, Orion's show here on IPMNation.com. And then I want to mention Sunday, May 1st. This is big. We're going to be broadcasting live from Millie's Tavern right up the road here in Manchester, New Hampshire at the Bone Thugs and Harmony show. They're going to be performing at Millie's Tavern in Manchester. Bone Thugs and Harmony is the headliner. Orion is going to perform at that, as well as General Money. I'm going to be on stage playing bass for General Money. I'm pretty excited about that. And IPMNation.com will be there broadcasting live from that as well. So that's going to be a very big deal. I'm not sure. The event actually starts at 7. I'm not sure exactly what time we're going to start broadcasting. So do me a favor, if you want to check it out, just kind of keep an eye on our Facebook, keep an eye on our Twitter. As the event gets closer and I have more an idea of when we're actually going to start broadcasting, I will post it. We'll make sure everyone is aware, because we want everyone to either be with us there at the show or listening online and with us in spirit. But this is a very big deal. So that is this Sunday at Millie's Tavern, Bone Thugs and Harmony, along with Orion the Rebel, General Money. There's a bunch of people who are going to be opening. So like I said, keep an eye on Facebook, keep an eye on Twitter, and please come to the show. It's going to be really, really cool. So we're excited about that. Anyway, I think I've said enough for now. We're going to wrap up with one more track here on Remote Transmission. Again, thank you very much to Gina Cecilia for calling in. It was very cool to talk to her. GinaCecilia.com is the website. And once again, for the spelling impaired, I'm just going to spell her last name for you. I want to make sure you get it right. It's Sicilia. Hopefully I got it right. Sicilia. Yeah, I think so. Sicilia. Yeah, okay. I just looked at the site just to make sure. So be sure to check out that website. It's a cool site. All kinds of media there, and you can keep up on what Gina is up to. We're going to wrap up with Before the Night is Through from the album Can't Control Myself from Gina Cecilia here on Remote Transmission on IPMNation.com. Good night, everybody.
they close the curtain and the band is certain. Time for one more song. Will you gaze in my eyes like in romantic movies from days gone by? And if I'm feeling lonely, will you be my only because I love you? Will you ask me to dance before the night is through? Sometimes I get lonely and I need somebody's touch. Sometimes I feel so weary and my eyes get teary and I need somebody's love. Will you ask me to dance before the music's over and the night is through? Will you twirl me and swirl me just like in the old days they used to do? And if my feet get tired, will you pull me aside and say I love you? Will you ask me to dance before the night is through? Will you ask me to dance before the night is through?
You are receiving a remote transmission from IPMNation.com. Stay tuned for further instructions. You are receiving a remote transmission from IPMNation.com. Stay tuned for further instructions.
Welcome to IPMNation.com, the next generation of internet radio, powered by Impact Player Music.